Hey everybody, how's it going? Jumping back into the XR6, we're just going to have a bit of a run through of what has been done since the car's been on the road and start rectifying a few issues that we found as we come across. But to start off in the engine bay, we have redone all our coil packs in here, so they're all new. We have redone all the injectors, had them pulled out and cleaned up and put back together. We replaced the harmonic balancer buried down in here, as it started to get a slight wobble in it and I didn't want to risk it flying off or getting any more damage, so we just took the option and replaced it with a new one. All of these were to improve the driving ability of the car and take out a bit of a rattle in the engine, which it has done. Now moving on to a few things that we are still going to do later on, which is the oil catch can, which is going to go up in this corner here to put that in there. Plug in this wiring for the sub stereo and everything else that's going on in the back of the car. A few other little pretty ups here and there, but we'll get to those very shortly. But we're going to jump to the back of the car and have a look at a problem that we found, a rather interesting problem that was never realised until the car, to the day of the roadworthy actually. So it turns out that I actually have two different taillights in this car from two different series of Falcons. So one has the defusing in it, as you can see here, and this one is completely different, and it's different at the top as well. So that wasn't picked up until the roadworthy guy actually drove it back into the shed, and I saw the two different taillights go on. So we're going to change out the driver's side one for the same pair that's on the left, get that sorted, and get that problem fixed.
I just want you, I just want you, the words I never said but wanted to. I'm losing you, I'm losing you, oh, but these thoughts won't let you go, they keep running back to you. Whoa.
Okay, so a couple of bits of the car that we were waiting on has turned up. Now, one of the things that we were waiting on, which took about 5 weeks to get here, was this top replacement piece for here, which is the aftermarket pod gauge version, which we are going to modify. We're going to look at putting a heads-up display in there as well. But for now, we've got this little one has turned up, just here. Get it out of the box. So she's the carbon fiber version, and as we can see, it just clips in there nicely, sort of finishes the whole dash off. So we are going to fit the two gauges in that we're looking at. So definitely going to be putting a pyroclastic gauge in there, so exhaust temps, and maybe, I don't know, a voltmeter or something. We haven't really thought overly top of that. We were thinking about oil pressure gauge as well, but we'll just play with that as we go. I haven't finally decided that one yet, but the oil pressure gauge is probably the better option. Get an electronic one in there, that way it'll tell me whether there's any issues with the engine long before the lights start coming up on the dash. But we'll get that out, we'll get in the shed, we'll start making sure everything fits, and we'll go from there. But the heads up display stuff that we're going to put in, we haven't got that yet. We're going to have a look at a few different ones, see if there's something we like. If there's not, then I'm not going to worry about it, and have a play around. So another one of our little packages that have arrived is the radiator header tank, aluminium version, which will replace this plastic one. It's tucked away in here. There we go. It's not too bad. It's good for what it is. It comes with all these fittings as well, which are just here, and an extra mount. So we're going to take this, we're going to swap that out now, put everything on here, dress it up, get it happening.
We are going to play a typical number. going to play a typical amount of loud passages.
Let's do this! Do this! Yeah! Right? Right on! Hell yeah!
So a little problem that's come up is the driver's side window will not wind up properly anymore. Now when this winds up, it drops down and jams against the rear rail and is getting forced up. So something inside's not letting it sit level again. So we're going to pull all this fab off, see what's going on there, see if it's an issue, which it's obviously an issue, but hopefully we can repair it. It's nothing, it's just something loose or something, and then we won't have that problem anymore. So after having a play around with this, looks like there's some wear and tear inside here, which is allowing this to sort of move a little bit more than what it should, which means we've got to replace the whole unit. So we're not going to do that at this stage. We're just going to run it out and keep an eye on it. We might be able to put some extra guide rubber down this side, which might help keep it up a little bit, force it out a bit more. So we'll see what I can find to jam in there. But otherwise we'll just run with it for now. As much of a pain in the ass as it is, at this stage it's what we're going to do. So we'll see if we can find some strip, chuck it in there, see how that goes, and then yeah, go from there. Okay, so one of the biggest so in my opinion, one of the biggest design flaws with some of the stuff on the BABF, at least Falcon, probably a couple others thrown in there, is interior door handles and the way that they attach trim to the car. Now what they do, they have this plastic edging here, as you can see, this column, and then the screw goes through to insert in the door. Now on most of them they do this, they snap off. Now they vary in length and construction as front to rear, and like most of these things, and in mine, they're broken, which means stuff doesn't hook in, it's not going to hand right, you rip the handles off the door, hence why this one ripped off the door. So what I'm actually going to do is we're going to throw another little video out there very shortly to some special inserts that we're going to make, 3D print all them, design it, 3D print it, and see how much it works to counteract that issue. Even if they are complete and still in good condition, they'll go straight in and help rectify that for any future problems. If they are damaged, it'll fix it. 'Tis the plan anyway, so we're going to get those together, start having a play around with them, front and rear both sides, replace everything that I have in here that's broken, and with any luck, yeah, it might be something beneficial to somebody else. So we shall have a play, get this thing fixed so we can get it back in the car and get the back windows working again and go from there.